2 years. Then I got there 5 years. They said to me, before we started, and that's a true story, before the project started.
From the outside, it always looked like Celine Dion's son, René-Charles Angelil, was destined to follow in his mother's footsteps. The world expected him to sing, to stay inside the spotlight of music, to carry on her legendary voice into the next generation. For years, whispers swirled around what he might do, and fans assumed he was preparing for his big stage debut. But behind closed doors, a secret was quietly building, something his family kept hidden, something even his late father would never have believed. At 24 years old, René Charles finally revealed the truth about what he had been doing all along. The revelation shocked many, explained his years of secrecy, and showed the world exactly why his mother, Celine, had been so protective of him. To understand the weight of this moment, you first have to understand the incredible story of the woman who raised him, her struggles, her triumphs, and the choices that shaped his life forever. Celine Dion's journey began far from the glittering lights of Las Vegas. Born on March 30th, 1968, in the small town of Charlemagne near Montreal, she was the youngest of 14 children. Their home was crowded, noisy, and poor, so full of life that her mother once joked there wasn't even space for one more spoon at the table. When Celine came home from the hospital as a newborn, there wasn't even a crib waiting for her. Instead, her parents laid her in a dresser drawer lined with blankets. That's how her life began, humble, uncertain, and without luxury. Growing up, she shared small beds with multiple siblings, slept like sardines with her sisters, and learned to endure hardships most people never see. But inside that chaos, there was always one constant: music. Her father sang, her mother played violin, and even her name came from a French ballad they loved. That love of music became her lifeline. But the outside world was cruel. At school, classmates mocked her looks relentlessly: her skinny frame, her large teeth, her awkward smile. They called her Vampire and Canine Dion. Even newspapers joined in, ridiculing a child who only wanted to sing. The bullying scarred her deeply, making her feel like she didn't belong anywhere. And yet, she found comfort in music. At home, she and her siblings formed a band, performing at local venues to earn money. By the age of 12, she had written and recorded her first demo with the help of her family. That demo changed everything. Her mother, Therese, believed in her so fiercely that she mortgaged her home to send it to a manager named Rene Angelil. At first, it looked like a desperate gamble. But when Rene heard her voice, he was stunned. So stunned that he mortgaged his own home to fund her career. He believed she had one of the greatest voices he had ever heard. And he was right. By her late teens, Celine was already making waves, releasing multiple albums in French. But behind the scenes, something unexpected happened. She had fallen in love with Rene, her manager, a man 26 years older than her. Their romance was kept secret for years, hidden from public judgment. When it was finally revealed, it shocked many, but their bond only grew stronger. In 1994, their wedding aired live on Canadian television, watched by millions. Her career, meanwhile, skyrocketed. From her Eurovision win in 1988 to her English language breakthrough in the 1990s, she rose to global superstardom. Albums like Falling Into You and Let's Talk About Love sold over 30 million copies each, cementing her as one of the greatest voices of all time. Her performance of My Heart Will Go On for the Titanic soundtrack became a cultural phenomenon, selling millions and earning her a permanent place in music history. But behind the fame, Celine fought private battles. She and Rene endured years of fertility struggles, endless IVF treatments, and heartbreaking miscarriages before finally welcoming their first son, René-Charles, in 2001. 9 years later, thanks to a frozen embryo from their earlier treatments, Celine gave birth to twins, Nelson and Eddie. These miracles of science and resilience gave her family life new meaning, even as René's health began to fail. His husband battled throat cancer for years, enduring surgeries, treatments, and relapses. Through it all, Celine paused her career multiple times to care for him, feeding him when he could no longer eat, staying by his side until his death in 2016. She was not just his wife, but his caretaker, his partner, and his greatest supporter. As if that heartbreak wasn't enough, Celine faced her own devastating diagnosis. In 2024, her documentary I Am Celine Dion revealed her struggles with stiff person syndrome, a rare and incurable neurological disorder that causes excruciating muscle spasms. In one haunting scene, cameras captured her having a seizure during a recording session lasting nearly 8 minutes. Despite the pain, she insisted on letting the world see the truth. She wanted fans to understand what she was facing. Her illness forced her to step away from performing, but her story of strength and vulnerability resonated worldwide. Her sons, René-Charles and the twins, have become her caretakers, learning how to spot the signs of a medical crisis, practicing emergency drills at home, and standing by her side through it all. And now, René-Charles himself is stepping into his own spotlight, but not in the way anyone expected. Instead of chasing a singing career, he's built a name in two completely different worlds: hip-hop and professional poker. In 2021, he released his own EP, diving into music on his own terms. And in July 2025, he shocked the poker world by advancing deep into the World Series of Poker main event, finishing with nearly $70,000 in winnings. Like his father before him, he showed a natural talent for cards, proving that the Angelil legacy lives on in more ways than one. For years, fans wondered why Celine protected her son so carefully, why he kept such a low profile, and why his future remained a mystery. Now, the truth is clear. He was carving his own path, building his own legacy away from the shadow of his mother's fame. And today, his story is only just beginning. From the little girl who slept in a dresser drawer, to the global superstar who changed music forever, to the devoted mother battling illness with courage, Celine Dion's journey is one of strength, sacrifice, and survival. And now, the next chapter belongs to her son. This is Hollywood Star News, bringing you the untold stories behind the world's most iconic stars. If you were moved by Celine Dion's incredible journey and René-Charles' surprising path, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Hollywood Star News, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the stories that matter most.